drivers, start your engines!
Yellow's out. Managed just about outrigged him. And he busted her.
Okay, let's go.
What is up, everybody? We're doing it a little different this week. It is currently Saturday, November 13th. The green flag is out, and we're ready to go 3 wide with GJG. Episode number 5 this week.
I know.
I'm excited.
I am too. I don't know.
I think it's going to be hard to beat last week's episode. Last week's episode was pretty good. Now with it kind of being off-season, or there's still races to be had, don't get me wrong, but there's kind of like a dead couple weeks here. So this week's episode might be a little short, but we definitely have some stuff to talk about today.
Yep. So we're going to kick off with the NASCAR championship races that were held Sunday.
Last Sunday.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. So it's been a while since we saw that. But did you have any opinions about the truck race?
The truck race, I didn't really watch. I didn't get to watch a whole lot of it, but I am glad that Ben Rhodes, one of the ThorSport trucks, is able to take home the championship. I do have a friend that works, he's a race engineer at ThorSport, so I'm sure I will kind of get a hold of him and kind of get his thoughts on the whole situation, see what his point of view is. But I really didn't watch a whole lot of the truck race, to be honest, but I don't know if you did or not.
No, I was unfortunately stuck at work, so I never had time to watch the truck race or the Xfinity race for that matter. So
Xfinity race was phenomenal. I will say that. I feel like Austin Cindric was dominant most of the night, or at least up towards the front.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of little battles here and there where he would lose the lead for a few laps, but always ended up with it. The ending to that race was one of the best I've ever seen. Daniel Hemrick, want to congratulate him, by the way, for bringing home the championship. And it was his first Xfinity win, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's what they said.
So pretty cool for him there. But coming off a 4 to the checkered flag, him and Cindric kind of doored each other. Well, I think it was more Hemrick dooring Cindric, but can't hate the guy. You're racing for a championship here. I'm gonna beat you up a little bit to try and beat you to the finish line as well. But right. They crossed the finish line almost side by side. It was a fantastic finish. Also want to talk about Hemrick's backflip off the car, bringing back the old Carl Edwards days.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty cool. Again, congratulations to him. I definitely see big things coming for him in the future. Austin Cindric, his post-race interview in the pits or whatever, very class act, You could tell he was a little frustrated about, he's like, we always have a car that gets up front and then someone drives through us or whatever. But beyond that, it was very respectful, and I think it showed a lot of who he is. Now, I know you didn't really watch it, so you don't have a whole lot of input here. But
unfortunately,
I'm sure you saw videos on Twitter.
Yeah, I saw it.
Stuff.
I saw the finish. Like you said, great finish. I think Xfinity, I know Xfinity has put up a lot of good racing this past season. I don't think I'm going to start controversy when I say this, but I think the Xfinity series probably had some of the best racing this year compared to the Truck Series and the Cup Series. So, and I did watch the post-race interviews. So, all around good race from what I've been able to watch. Good stuff.
Now, moving on to the Cup race, I'd like to congratulate the GOAT, Kyle Larson. Now, I know there's kind of a lot of argument on social media about whether Kyle Larson's the greatest driver you've ever seen. But when Tony Stewart himself says Kyle Larson is the greatest driver he's ever seen, I think that means something.
Yeah, I mean, when a guy can get into anything, go out and race it and win it, I think that's pretty, that's the end of it. He's the greatest driver I've ever seen in my lifetime, I'm sure. Hell, he could probably get in my Honda Civic and win a race in it if he wanted to. So, not really sure what the back and forth about. I mean,
I will say this: he's probably the greatest driver I'll ever see. Whether I definitely think there's other drivers out there that, past drivers, I guess I should say. But Kyle Larson is definitely the greatest that I'll ever see. But anyway, I want to congratulate him. I definitely don't think he had the car to win it. I 100% do not think his car all day was not. As the race was going on, I was like, man.
Yeah, it seemed like he struggled on the long run for sure. Him and Chase both.
Martin Truex's car was unbelievably fast on a long run. Mm-hmm. Both the Joe Gibbs cars were good on the long run. They kind of struggled on the short run until late race whenever there's a little bit of a short run, and they were both up front, and they kind of took off and looked good there because neither Chase nor Kyle could really get up to him or get around him or anything. So I thought for sure JGR had it in the bag at that point. I was like, there's no... But I do believe the JGR pit crews kind of struggled early on in the race. Lots of little mistakes that cost them positions on pit road. I want to say Denny, for sure, which is odd because Denny's pit crew was actually who was a pit crew for Daniel Hemrick the night before. But they did turn it around and ended up performing very well. But I do want to say Kyle Larson's pit crew. I think Kyle Larson owes this championship to his pit crew because without that last pit stop getting him out front, there's no way he wins that race. Yeah,
I agree 100%. And he certainly said in his post race that he didn't have the car to win either, and he had lost that hope in the run towards the end there. But definitely owe it to that pit crew.
The top four did run up front pretty much 1, 2, 3, 4 almost all night.
Yeah.
All three of the top four led at least one lap. I think Denny was the only one that didn't. But that was kind of how Denny's year went this year. You know what I mean? He was always up there. Wasn't really necessarily in charge of the race, I suppose, but always good. Always performs well.
Yeah.
For sure. But definitely all Class Act guys. I think each of them were very deserving of a championship had they won it. But I'm glad to see Kyle Larson have such a great comeback to NASCAR as he has. Mm-hmm. And just his success in general is very intriguing. It's awesome to witness, I will say. I do know that his plan is to go to Abu Dhabi for the season finale F1 race, I think, and he has made it very clear that if an F1 team wants to let him test for a few laps, he's very open to do so. I know he was asked in an interview if he would run an Indy 500 or an F1 race first, and he's like, I can't answer that because I think both would be pretty cool. But I think if Kyle Larson won an Indy 500, that would be that. I think that seals the deal on greatest driver for sure. To be able to go on all aspects of dirt, move to asphalt, win a NASCAR Cup Series championship, and then go to win an Indy 500.
Yeah, I mean, that would definitely put the nail in the coffin for sure in that conversation. I wouldn't be surprised if he ran an Indy car race. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if one day he decided, NASCAR is not it for me anymore. Obviously later on down the road, not this early on in his career, but pull a Jimmy Johnson and go to IndyCar. I think he'd be phenomenal there as well. So he has a bright future ahead, and like you said, he's going to be one of the greatest we see in our lifetime, and he's going to be, the Dale Jr. of the day, where that's going to be a legend when we're older and somebody that, these up-and-coming racers are going to look up to.
Oh, yeah. So that's kind of the NASCAR season has come to an end, which sucks because now I don't really have a whole lot to do on Sunday. I mean, I can watch football, but basketball season has started back up, college basketball, which that kind of occupies my time, at least until like Snowball Derby, Chili Bowl, Gateway Dirt Nationals, something. So we do want to talk about we are kind of changing up the schedule of our show due to racing off season. The episodes might be a little short for now. It all kind of depends on what happens in the racing world.
Yeah.
Each week, silly season might sprout some good conversations and stuff like that. But
that's where my hopes lie. I'm hoping. I mean, silly season as of now has been a little hectic. So obviously, my hope is that silly season is good enough to us and gives us some good content. You mentioned silly season. Anthony Alfredo, for example, is out of Front Row Motorsports, so there's an open seat for somebody to take up and stuff like that. So we'll talk more about that stuff later on.
Ryan Newman,
yeah,
potentially pretty much done.
End of
at least NASCAR for now. Haven't heard anything. Matty D might be out. I don't know. I'm excited. I am excited to see the next gen cars, though.
I am too. I don't want to go off tangent, but we don't have much to talk about today. I saw a tweet from somebody who sent or had tweeted a picture of the next gen car, and it had come in like a kit, basically. And I saw a lot of people talking about how it was like odd for the front clips and the rear clips to be bolted onto the chassis. What there is of it by like 16 bolts, and I'm just like, I didn't know enough about the next gen car to like really know like the mechanics of it all, but it's definitely going to be interesting to see how teams take advantage of this new car. And
well, I think for at least for a little while, it's going to be some very close racing, very close. Now, once the first team kind of gets their stuff figured out, it'll kind of turn into everything else, but it'll kind of turn into where, they kind of run off. I think, maybe. I don't know. But we'll kind of see when we get there.
Yep. So as Jarrett said, our schedule's going to change a little bit due to off season. The episodes might be shorter, and we have moved record days from Thursdays to Fridays for the time being. So
that is kind of in part to work schedules. We also started up our iRacing League again on Thursday nights, so we figured it would be better to not have to rush after I got off work on Thursday to try and get a podcast recorded before our racing starts for the night. So we kind of, which it might very well might change again at some point. It just kind of depends. But we will do our best to keep you all updated with all of that. Next, today, actually, is the 24th annual online All-American 400, which is the iRacing version of the All-American 400. I believe currently, there are 32 drivers registered for this race. They were going to field 36, so not quite the turnout they were hoping for, but I think it's definitely plenty of cars to run around Nashville for 400 laps. For some reason, the online race is 400 laps instead of 300. But we've been practicing. I've been practicing kind of on and off all week because our Thursday night league ran at Daytona this week, so there really wasn't a whole lot of practice we could do for that. So I've been running a lot of practice at Nashville in the super late model. Got a paint scheme done thanks to
Chris, friend of the show,
great
Chris
friend
Wally.
of the show, our Thursday night league owner, Chris Wally. He really good at that. Really good at that. Cars turned out great.
Yeah, and if we have any iRacers that listen in, definitely check out his business. It's 5-Star Graphics on Facebook. I know we shared it. Does really great work.
Super cool guy too.
Yeah.
He's whatever you ask of him so far, he's been able to do pretty much anything I've asked of him.
Right.
And it's in a pretty good time frame as well. Obviously, I don't know how busy he will get, but at least he's been good to me.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so tonight at 7:50 p.m. Eastern time is when the green flag is set to drop. I, Jarrett, will be broadcasting this to Facebook. I will be broadcasting it to our Facebook page So I will actually, it'll show up on Facebook as 3 Wide with DJG is playing iRacing, whatever. And then I'll share it to my own personal page. I'm sure Dakota will do the same thing, and so on and so forth. But so if you do want to watch, unfortunately, the race is not being broadcasted otherwise, but that does increase the winning purse. So in a way, we're kind of thankful for that.
Yes.
So if you do watch, it'll only be from my point of view, which I don't know. You might find that interesting. You might not. I don't know. You'll get to listen to Hunter yell for 400 laps because that's how Hunter is when we race.
Or he'll just talk about the stupidest shit, and it has nothing to do with what we're doing, and it's a bit of a distraction.
Yeah.
But
anyways, I hope you guys, if you want to, I hope you tune in for that. I know 400 laps is a long time, but if you have nothing else to do on a Saturday night, feel free. Comments-wise, I don't know if I'll really be able to monitor them and talk back. I will try my best during cautions and stuff like that to engage with comments and try not to hit the wall like I did at Daytona on Thursday. I checked my phone and drove it straight into the wall. Luckily, it was a caution lap and didn't really do any damage. But we did post earlier today about practice results from last night. Throughout the week, I'd been practicing, and the settings I had, the track was about 30 degrees hotter than what it was last night. So cooler track made for much faster times than I was anticipating. But I did end up 5th fastest at the end of practice. Hunter got in and ran 9th fastest, and Dakota was, what?
slow. I finished, I think, 18th.
That's okay, though. We were kind of discussing that. You honestly might be in a better position than Hunter and I. Just because there's 30-some people for 400 laps, it might be better to just sit back there and let everything take its course.
Right, and that was my thinking on it, too. You know, obviously with 32 cars on the track, lap times are going to be a tad bit slower. And I don't think I personally want to be up there racing hard the first
Hell, I don't even know
390
if I want to.
laps. So definitely going to just try to stay back, conserve my equipment, and miss any mess that happens tonight, and be there at the end.
I do want to say, you and Hunter and I, we had very good communication at Daytona. So I think if we can kind of keep that up, we'll be all right. Because I think it worked out, minus you missing your pit box on Thursday. Yeah.
I'm hoping that I remember where my pit box is so I don't blow past it. And
I think because he limited it to 36, there won't be any shared pit stalls. That's when it gets real crazy. That's hard to, when you're sharing a pit stall with somebody.
right.
But anyway, I'm excited for tonight. 400 laps is probably the longest race I ran on the sim. So I'm kind of anxious at the same time to see how well that goes. But, you know, I do have a pretty good knowledge of how a long super late model race should go.
Mm-hmm.
So if everybody else is on the same page and we can kind of just cruise single file, whatever, for 350 laps or whatever. I know that's not going to happen. But
I hope
it does.
I hope people are smart enough to just fall in line and you know, be there at the end. I was going to say I'm looking forward to it. I'm not so much nervous. I'm more dreading the fact that we're going to be running 400 laps because that's the longest race I've ever been a part of. But as a team owner, or co-owner, I should say, grateful to have 3 cars running for DJG Motorsports. I'm really hoping that we have good results tonight. And I'm sure that you and Hunter are going to definitely be our...
Well, it just kind of depends. If Hunter struggles like he was last night, but he was just pushing too hard, felt like he could barely get a lap in. He did, you know, obviously he put up times, but I was trying to put up 30, 40 lap stints just to kind of see where tires were. We do have unlimited sets of tires, so that kind of takes a lot of strategy out of it, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think tire fall off is important, especially if we go on long runs, kind of trying to outlast everybody else. But so we'll see how tonight goes. Hopefully one of us can bring home some money. I do think they're paying out 1st through 5th.
Yep.
So if I at least, you know, plus they're giving out a money award. I think it's only like $15, but for most laps led, I don't know if they're giving out a hard charger award or anything like that, but so that's that. Again, hope you tune in tonight. Feel free to leave some comments, likes, whatever you talk some trash. I don't care. Tell us we suck. Either way, we appreciate you supporting us.
Yeah, that I agree with. Don't talk trash. I've had a really rough couple of days with somehow pissing people off. So, just exhausting.
I guess next the early entry list for the Snowball Derby have been released
3 days ago, and I was shocked because I wasn't expecting a full list.
There's a lot of names on the list already.
There was, don't quote me on this, there was over 30 for the super lates and then close to 30 for the pro late. So obviously it's a big race and a lot of people register and then obviously they run to qualify in, but I was not expecting that. So I went to super lates. We have some big names. Derek Griffith, Carson Hocevar, Chase Purdy, Jesse Love, Bubba Pollard, Chandler Smith, Grant Enfinger, Jake Garcia, Eric Jones will be running this race, Daniel Dye.
Do we know if Eric Jones is running for the BJ McLeod, Travis Braden?
I'm not sure. I want to say...
I don't know. I haven't seen anything.
I haven't either. So, I don't know. But I would assume...
I have no idea.
because he's ran with them before, but I didn't even care to check. It'll be interesting to see who he runs with, though. Derek Thorne, Cody Connor, friend of the show. Woohoo! Woo! Sammy Smith, Stephen Nassy, another friend of the show. Ryan Priest will be running. Corey Heim, Derek Kraus, Ty Majeski.
Good old Derek Kraus.
Yeah, and then
already lots of big names.
Yeah,
I think it's a little too early to make picks.
Very early. We'll be having our pre-race show for the Snowball Derby here in once we get closer to time to Snowball. But I think it's way too early.
That's not going to be the weekend I'm gone, is it?
I hope not. but if it is, we'll figure something out or something. We'll figure it out. Pro late models. Looking through the list here. Bubba Pollard again. Cole Williams, who had a fantastic run at Nashville.
You know whose name I love to not see on the list? You know who I'm talking about, but I'm not going to say it.
Oh. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Stephen Nassy will also be running. Dylan Fetcho. Thank you. I'm going to butcher names. Derek Griffin, will be running Pro Late models as well. Ryan Luza. Big names. As always, I think the Snowball Derby will not disappoint this year. I think it'll be great racing, and I'm certainly excited. Anything else?
I don't know exact dates. I don't have them off the top of my head.
The Snowball Derby itself will be ran December 5th. That Sunday, so
yes. No. That'll be the weekend I'm gone.
We'll figure something out.
I'll just have to come back home from Evansville early Sunday morning so I can drive here. We can watch everything. No. Sorry. You said it's on Sunday.
The race is, yes.
Yes.
The pre-race show will be...
No, I know, but...
Okay.
The pre-race show will be okay.
All right, well, that's all that matters.
Cool.
We can watch the race from wherever.
So anyway, if any of you want to watch the race, check out Speed 51 and...
What is now becoming Racing America.
Yes.
I want to give them a shout out, everyone at Speed 51 and Racing America, as they undergo this change. I checked out their website today, and it's pretty good stuff. And
huge. For racing.
Yeah.
Huge.
I think it's going to be a huge game changer for grassroots racing and short track racing. And
aren't they doing like NASCAR stuff as well?
All the way up to NASCAR. Yeah.
So they're doing anything and everything.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So I'm very excited to see how all that works out for them.
I would love to somehow end up being a part of that, you know?
It would be great stuff. I think, I couldn't imagine what it's like to be a part of that. But website looks great, so I'm sure, once they get everything settled in, great ship.
Absolutely. So excited to see how that goes for them, and we'll definitely be staying up to date with that as much as we can. Mm-hmm. Next was last night, the Usac Western World Championship races. Now, I know Dakota is just now kind of getting into dirt. He's learning. He hasn't really watched a whole lot of dirt racing. I'm still fairly new to it. My best friend from college kind of got me into it, so shout out Chance. But so I watched a little bit last night. I did end up falling asleep because I was tired. I did the heat races and all that stuff. Good racing. Mm-hmm. The track was really rough. There was a lot of cars bouncing all over the place. I was like, there's a couple of cars that I didn't know how they didn't flip, and then there was a couple others that weren't so lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that one car, I don't know who it was, so forgive me, but, I mean, he's
Emerson
going
Axum.
Thank you. He's going through that turn, and the whole left side of that car just lifted up, and he ended up rolling it, so.
He almost cleared the fence. Or are you talking about a different one?
I was talking about the one that we watched, where he, left side of it.
I don't know who that was.
Who was the other one you said?
Emerson Axum.
Thank you.
He's an Indiana boy.
I did watch that wreck, and it looked brutal.
You're probably about to hear a really loud beep. That's my GoPro. I apologize.
But other than that, it was really good racing. I did stay up to watch it because I had nothing better to do. I think it was like 1:30 when the last race finished up.
Yeah, I was out.
So Justin Grant did end up winning the USAC midget feature. Just good racing all around. I mean, they were running 2-3 wide. I
know that during the heat races, it was like slider after slider after slider after slider. So it was very entertaining to watch.
Yeah, and then the Usak Sprints, Brady Bacon,
Mr. I Believe I Can Fly.
Yeah, I mean, and I will say I wasn't watching the whole thing throughout, but the last few laps I was, and I don't remember who was running second, so please forgive me, but him in second place was just running together. He did end up running. He runs the bottom a lot, I can tell. So he was running the bottom, and second place was running up top, and the second place driver was getting good runs on the top, just not able to finish it out after exiting the turns or whatever. And the second place guy was running somewhere. I don't know. He tried throwing a slider. I'm sorry, I suck at this. But he tried throwing a slider and almost cleared Bacon, and he ended up not clearing Bacon. Bacon was able to pull out, exiting the turn, and it was a good finish. I mean, I highly recommend watching.
I wish I would have stayed up to watch it.
It was good.
I was just too tired. As soon as I got off the computer last night, I laid down. I'm gone.
Yeah.
But anyway, they are racing tonight. Mm-hmm. You can find that on flowracing.com if you so please. I will. I don't know. It depends on how tonight goes for the Nashville. The All-American 400, if I can watch it or not.
I think the broadcast said that the racing starts at 3, but they're a couple hours off of us, so I'm not sure what time that is in their time, but I'm sure I'll be able to pull it up on my TV and then listen in. But highly recommend watching tonight's events. I guess to close out the show, we're going to share some updates about the show. Mainly our sponsorship deals that we got going on. So our first sponsorship is a
first thing set in stone for sure.
Yes, thank you. Is an in-car camera for Gateway Dirt Nationals. It'll be the Super Late Model A feature. We ended up sponsoring 12th place, so whoever finishes 12th, we're sponsoring that camera.
So I guess I'm not entirely sure how all that works. I was kind of talking to Chance about it, because he was the one that sent it to me, that was even an opportunity. So I guess it's kind of like they have the in-car camera on during the race, and then post-race stuff, they'll post videos, and they'll post videos of the in-car camera, and then like our logo will be in the corner of the video showing that we sponsored That's what I took from it. I'm not entirely sure. So
Yep, that's exactly how it's going to work. So, again, shout out to Chance, our unofficial dirt analyst for 3 Wide with DTG, for sending us that information.
yes,
I'm really looking forward to that because, I was thinking last night that, obviously I would love to cover more dirt racing and not just asphalt, but I don't know too much about it. So I'm trying to learn as much as I can. But
yeah, I don't know a whole lot either. And what sucks is that he lives 3 hours away. So, like, in order for him to get on the show, he would have to call in, and then he's not always available because he's a farmer and he's got other stuff going on. So we'll try to get him on a few times and kind of hear the dirt side of things, but that'll probably be more of a next season thing once racing kind of picks back up.
Yep.
But I do want to say that I will be going, well, I have yet to hear from Chance, but I'm like 95% sure that I'm going to Gateway Dirt Nationals this year. First time going, first time to an indoor racing event. So I think that Friday I'm actually taking off work. I'm driving down to Evansville Thursday night, and then from Evansville we're going to head over to St. Louis and hang out for the weekend and watch some dirt racing. I don't know if they race on that Sunday or not, but we're going to be there for Saturday. We won't be there for Sunday, so I'm not 100% sure if I'll be there for the race that we're actually sponsoring a camera in. But I believe it's like a 1/5 mile track inside of a dome. But they run super lates and modified, so I feel like it's going to be absolute chaos. I'm excited for it, very excited for it.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. I'm hoping they broadcast it so I can watch it too.
I don't see why they wouldn't.
I think it'd be definitely fun to watch. Because I've watched like clips of the Chili Bowl and stuff. So
it's a dome season, baby.
Yeah.
But when I get back from that, I'll provide some insight, share my experience, what it was like, and we'll go from there.
Exciting stuff. The next sponsorship opportunity we're going to talk about, I believe this one's set in stone too. So
pretty much, we just have to get him. We're waiting on him to give us details to give him our sponsorship money.
Yeah. So we're also going to be sponsoring Cody Connor in the Snowball Derby. Our logo will be seen on his car, so we're very excited for that.
Just want to say we are not the main sponsor for his car.
Correct. Yeah. Not in the budget.
But we did reach out to him, and we were able to work something out. So I believe he said he was going to give us a shout-out. Plus, we'll be on his car for the Snowball Derby. So I think that's pretty big news for us to get somewhere on a super late model for probably the biggest super late model race in the nation.
Yeah.
So we're very excited for that. We want to wish Cody good luck. Our thought process behind that was he's a small team, very small team.
And we're even smaller. So
we're small. We kind of get it. I mean, obviously not on the super late model aspect of things, but we understand the small team, limited resources type thing. And we saw that he posted something on social media about, just kind of giving some people an idea of what it was like to go to these races. And so we reached out and were like, hey, we would at least like to cover, your entry fee or whatever for Snowball Derby weekend. So we were able to work that out, and we appreciate him for that opportunity.
Very grateful.
And want to wish him the best of luck for sure.
Yeah. And I had some, off tangent, I had somebody ask me, why are you sponsoring all these things? We sponsored the laps. We sponsored 3 laps for the All-American 400. We're sponsoring the in-car camera. We're sponsoring Cody Connor. We're trying to work out a few other things. And my thought process on it is, we're trying our best to advocate for short track racing and grassroots racing, and that's what we're talking about all the time. And I feel like I'm going to do whatever I can and whatever we can to kind of give back to the sport that we love. So that's my thought process on all of that.
Right. And it's kind of hard because we're fairly new.
Yeah.
We don't have a huge following. We're trying to give ourselves an opportunity to gain a following. And while we know, we're spending money, we're kind of spending our own money at this point. We're keeping our heads on our shoulders. We're not spending too much to where, we don't want to spend all this money and possibly get zero return on an investment. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we're hoping in the future we'll be able to, work some more things out to where we have a higher budget, and we're able to do these bigger things and just kind of, get our name out there, but also be able to support small teams in short track racing and do our part.
Mm-hmm. I did want to add something else. I didn't go over this with you, but the new logo that you see on our social media pages is going to be the logo for the time being. So I want to give a shout out to Chris Wally once again for unintentionally doing that for us, I suppose.
So I guess I'll kind of explain how this all happened with this logo.
I don't want to call it. Well,
no.
Okay, I was gonna say I don't want to cause any trouble.
No, so this kind of wasn't. I wasn't, I was just getting the paint done for the race tonight. That's all. And I was like, I would like to put our podcast on the car, just because why not? I put them on my entry form. I put our podcast as one of my sponsors. So I was like, I want to have them on the car, but we don't have a logo. So if you could just put the words 3-Wide with DJG on the car, that's fine. He's like, I'll got you. Well, that's what he came up with. I was like, all right, I like it. And I asked him if he cared or if he would send me the file for it so I could use it. And he's like, no, I don't care. So I was like, well, we'll just use this temporarily until, for sponsorship stuff. And that's kind of where we're at right now.
Yeah. So
we do have other ideas, but for where we're at right now, we just we needed something better than what we had.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to be using for the time being. And I'll just leave it at that. So I want to thank Chris for all of his amazing work that he's done for us, both with the logo and obviously the paint schemes that he's produced for not only the Super Late models, but the league that we're in. He does all the paints for all the guys. So does really great work. So again, I'm going to shout out his business. I'll share it on our pages.
Also, be sure to check out the iRacing iRock Challenge series on Facebook.
Yep,
that's our Thursday night league.
Yep.
Chris is in charge of, where Dakota Hunter and I race every Thursday night. So,
Yep. So I don't have anything else to add for today's.
I really don't either. Short episode. Sorry about that. We just don't have a whole lot to discuss right now. There's, to my knowledge, there's not a whole lot. I mean, I'm sure there is stuff that, but as far as stuff that I've been connected to, there's really not a whole lot going on.
And this is what we expected with off season coming around. So, like I said, hopefully silly season gives us some good stuff to work with.
I think at some point we'll also provide you with updates, with our own cars, progress as we're building them and preparing them for next race season this winter. Like, for example, Dakota, they just cleaned the head, put new head gaskets in his because his engine was kind of
not doing so hot.
Yeah. But we think it might be okay now. Sounds a little different. We don't know.
We'll see.
We'll see.
If not, I might call up friend of the show, Kyle Frame, and have him just come and strip it down to nothing and we'll rebuild. I don't know.
But, again, that also provides you an opportunity to move up to pros if you want to.
God, that's a goal.
I'm building a Crown Vic.
Woohoo!
Dakota's dad has a Crown Vic. I know Hunter actually surprisingly said something.
Okay.
I don't know if I ever see him doing this. I really don't. But I think it would be cool if he did.
So
let's talk about Hunter.
Oh my God. Remember, okay.
Love you, Hunter.
Rewind about 20 minutes when I said anytime we're racing and he's yelling, it's usually stuff that has nothing to do with what we're doing at the moment. He texts us out of the blue one day and I'm at work and he's like, hey guys, how about if we saved all of our money, put it together and got a street stock or a super late model? I said, sir, who the hell's making enough money to afford that?
First off,
you are closest to the mark on.
No.
Yes.
I mean, okay, closest maybe, but I'm not close.
I'm making not enough.
I'm not either. I will at some point. Hopefully.
I won't.
But anyway, I told Hunter, I was like, I am not putting money towards anything that you would potentially be driving because he's gotten better at iRacing, but I was like, you have 0 seat time in a real car.
Yeah.
I was like, and if you think you're going to hop into a street stock or a late model, you got me messed up.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he was like, oh, you know, you know, he was coming up with all these excuses, and I was like, I get you want to go fast. I get it. Everybody who races wants to go fast. Like,
ask me.
but I was like, whether you realize it or not, when you actually get into a car and you're driving around a track, you feel like you're going pretty fast, regardless of if you're not.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that way too at Mount Lawn, because I'm the only one outside of my dad. You have some track time, but not running a feature.
I have like maybe 15 laps by myself.
I always feel like I'm going fast, and then I see 5 cars pass me, and I'm like, I'm not going fast enough.
No, but like, if you're sitting in the driver's seat and like as you're driving around the track, you're like, man, I feel like I'm going so much faster than I know I am.
Yeah.
But I was like, I told Hunter, I was like, dude, you have to start out somewhere besides. I was like, a lot of these people that just jump into higher classes like that have some experience elsewhere, whether it's go-karts or, you know.
Some of them. I can think of one person that didn't.
Well, you know what I mean. But
right.
I was just like, no. And he's like, well, I'd run pro compacts, blah, 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 blah. I was like, regardless, I was like, you get your own. I have my own. Dakota has his own.
Yeah.
But God love him.
God bless him.
I would like for him to get into racing.
Oh,
more.
for sure. I think it'd be fun to have, somebody else in it with us, but I ain't working up I could barely afford what I got now. If
we could just get Hunter to realize some things, he'd be all right.
That's a lot of hope.
I love him, but sometimes some of the questions he asks me, sometimes I just want to be like, Hunter, did you think about anything you just said to me?
He tries to think, but nothing happens.
No. I will say, though, as far as his driving ability on iRacing, whether that translates to real life or not, has gotten a lot better. So, hopefully, we can do some damage tonight.
Yep.
3 of us.
I hope. That is the hope.
But, so, again, we'll probably give you some updates as our off-season goes on. I know my engine in my Vic's making a noise, and I don't know exactly what it is yet. I'm thinking possibly timing chain issues, or Dakota's dad actually brought something up. It could be, did he say what, a loose? I don't know. I forget what it was.
I wasn't there for that conversation.
I forget what it was.
But I would say that my goal is to hopefully do some behind-the-scenes stuff with our race team, and obviously create some content at the track and have that posted at some point too once season starts.
I personally would like to set up our GoPros in the garage while we're working and kind of do just a little time-lapse stuff or whatever.
Yeah. There's not much that I do, though, so just me sitting. But my car is also done at this point.
Your car's pretty much ready to go.
Just
Gotta
graphics
make sure
and the engine don't take a shit again. But as I say every week, we have a lot of good stuff planned. It's just a matter of timing and opportunities that we can take. So
the amaretto sour is so good.
Thank you. I am a bartender. I found my new profession. But anyway, gosh, I don't have anything else to talk about. So
I really don't either, I don't think.
Oh, so I'm a loser.
Forgot my banner again.
I said I was going to post a picture of the set. We took the pictures. I never posted it. That's my fault. I take full responsibility. That will be posted today because it seems like we are trying out some recording stuff today. So we'll see how that all turns out too. So
I didn't start recording till like halfway through the podcast.
That's all right. We could take clips out and then post it as like teasers. So, yeah, I don't know. Thank you all so much for your support.
There was something else I was going to say.
Okay.
I just forgot it. Oh. We will probably be posting some pictures from tonight on our Facebook page. Mm-hmm. I know, at least I was going to put them. I planned on it, if you were okay with it. All 3 of us.
Yeah.
Just pictures from the race.
Yeah, I'm going to try to multitask and try to post updates. I don't know. If you're streaming it, probably not. But
yeah, don't worry about posting updates while we're streaming.
While I'm driving.
Yeah, because then you'll hit the wall like I did. But, so, again, please feel free to watch tonight. Like I said, unfortunately, it'll be from my point of view only. you get to see my ugly mug on screen because I'll have my webcam going. Yeah, I probably drive half the race with my tongue sticking out because I'm focused, and then I do the, like when I go into the turn, I do the little lean, and
yep. I do too, but I want to stream at some point, but I'm glad I don't, because the last time I got wrecked in the iRacing League, pretend my steering wheel's here, I'm not going to cuss, but I was beating the crap out of that thing because I was so pissed. So,
oh man,
I won't repeat what I said, but
no,
it should be a good night. I'm very hopeful that it'll be some good racing. I'm really hopeful that we're able to bring home some good finishing positions. So
maybe bring home some money.
That would be nice. God knows we need it. So, all right. With all that being said, I think we'll close it out.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for listening. Please continue to share our Facebook page with any race fans, friends, family. Keep building those likes up. I think we're at, 116 likes?
I think we actually passed that. I think we're at 121
are we?
right now. So thank you to all the 121 of you who like our Facebook page.
Our new goal is 200. So.
It is, and we're slowly getting there. But I'm hopeful that this will become something better too, but...
Oh, one last bit before we go. I would like to say, I know we haven't really discussed this yet, but as the holiday season's coming up, we might take a week off around Thanksgiving, around Christmas. Kind of depends on how schedules fall or if we have anything to cover. But again, we'll keep you all updated on that. I just figured with it being holiday season, might not have a whole lot to talk about.
Yeah.
So
that and family and God's number one. So
absolutely. But anyway, with that, we would like to thank you all for listening. And that's episode 5. So hope to have you around next week for episode 6, and we'll see you then.